Hi, so I just wanted to film a probably not very quick video just to say thank you in regards to my previous few videos about the struggles I had with clean eating, and also on a more positive note, a few tips on how to stay positive or things to make a bad day a little bit brighter and a little bit better. First of all, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you that watched the video, that sent me emails and messages and tweets and really supportive messages, and I cannot explain how overwhelmed I felt in the best possible way, and it was great to know that my support network extended to you guys now, and I feel so grateful and thankful. I also wanted to say thank you to the people who shared their own personal stories with me, because I know how nerve-wracking it is. I was absolutely petrified to film and even upload the video myself, so to share, you know, your own personal story with me on the comments or by email, it honestly means so much to me, and it just makes me feel like you guys are friends and you're not just viewers, and it just made me feel a bit better about myself, and it just gave me that little bit extra strength I needed every single day, as a reminder that there are other people out there who are willing to help, and it's always just push your faith back in mankind and humanity, knowing that if you've got a problem, then people are always willing to go, you know, the extra mile just to put a smile on someone else's face. And I think that says a lot more than anything, like any materialistic good or anything that money can buy. It sounds very cheesy, but it honestly, it helped me through a really dark patch, and I don't think I can ever say thank you enough, but I hope this shows at least a percentage of how much it meant to me. I still have days where I'm struggling and I'm just having a general bad day, but it's just made so much better now that I've kind of spoken out about it, knowing that it's helped someone by even the tiniest margin, and just to raise awareness about the issues. And I just couldn't believe how many people had known somebody or been through a similar experience, so it just made me absolutely sure and certain 100% that it was the right decision to put the video up, even if it just helped one person or helped someone kind of be more aware of things like things similar that are happening to friends or family that are surrounding them. Tongue-tied. And with that, I thought I would film a more kind of positive video on all the things I've learnt recently, or things that I have been doing to kind of keep bad days at bay, and just incorporate little steps on trying to make that day a little bit brighter, and I thought it might help some of you. It's just general tips on how to feel more positive, and I have it written down on my phone, so I'm sorry if I'm looking down a lot. But yeah, speaking of which, look at this cool case I got. I keep getting really like weird questions from like friends and people on like the tube and stuff, like what is that? And as much as I want to say it's like a secret cool transmission spy gadget, it's just a series of different camera lenses. It's a wide angle fisheye and a telephoto, and it's just useful when I don't want to whip out the DSLR like a big tourist and just snap and away, and it allows me to be a bit more creative and stuff. So yeah, so on my list of tips on how to stay positive, the first thing that I've really found helps is to write down the highlights of each day, and I'm the kind of person who collects notebooks, and but I always feel like it's the first few pages are my neatest handwriting, and then the majority of it is left blank, but I'm trying to rectify that. So I got this really cute notebook from Tiger for about £2 I think, and it's a little orange, and inside I think it's an inside of an orange. And I also kept the Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows cinema ticket when I went for the midnight showing in there. I've written down since the 25th of July, which is my sister's 18th birthday, just the highlights of each day from start to finish. I don't write any bad stuff in there just because I don't want to be reminded of it if I'm reading back in a few months' time. I also draw little illustrations, little cartoons next to it, so it just puts a smile on my face, and it just kind of puts things in perspective a bit more when you're writing things down about your day, because it's things that you stumble across in a few months' time and they meant very little at the time, but when you read back you're like, oh yeah, I remember having that hot chocolate, or oh yeah, I remember visiting Jordan's granddad in his house and things and having tea with him, and things like that. It just kind of puts a little smile on your face and it takes you straight back to the moment. And I also laugh at my very weird drawings. I mean, I haven't drawn in a while, but yes, that's a bit strange. Another thing I've been doing is to unfollow the things on social media networks that might spark a negative effect, and instead I've been following more like travel sites and things like that, just to kind of put a bit more motivation and a bit more positivity into my life. But yeah, and generally I've tried to stay off the internet a bit more. And recently I've been skipping the tube to work and walking everywhere, and it's just so nice just to see, like, just breathe in the fresh air, listening to some music, and just kind of just look around you and noticing little things that you probably wouldn't have anyway if you were walking whilst being on your phone or just kind of rushing from tube station to tube station. So that's my another thing, walking a bit more. I just find that it really helps on days that you feel a bit anxious or just generally a bit down in the dumps, just to kind of take some time out, put in your really happy playlist. So at the moment I'm listening to either Moulin Rouge album or Disney Princesses album, and I just kind of like bopping along, and I just find that relaxes me a lot on days that I feel a bit stressed. Another thing is to acknowledge that bad days are going to happen, especially if you're struggling with depression or anything similar. Then I think the first step is to realise that not every day is going to be a good day. Even if you kind of realise some big things for yourself and you're trying to make more positive changes, there are still going to be days that you just wake up and there is no explainable reason why you feel the way that you do. And instead of beating myself up about it now, I just kind of take a step back. I just take some time to just do whatever I need to do, whether that's just to kind of watch a really sad rom-com and cry it out, or just to jot down all of my like sad thoughts down and just kind of chuck it away. I acknowledge that I'm having a bad day and then move on, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not disregarding it, I'm not trying to ignore it at all, or to try and push myself to be really happy when inside I'm just not feeling it. I just find it's easier to accept that today's probably not going to be as positive as this day before, but tomorrow hopefully is going to be a way better day, and I'm going to try and go for a walk or try and do things that might lift my mood up instead of dwelling about it indoors and just feeling a bit sad, when there are probably ways I could try to improve it slightly. Another thing I've really found helpful is to kind of not keep quiet about it as much as I probably would have before. If I'm having a bad day, generally I get really scared that because I'm not as like chirpy and as like happy, I get scared that people think, oh, she's being a bitch today. I've found to try and push myself to speak to people a bit more about it, or just to kind of a quick note to say I'm sorry in advance if, you know, I'm a bit like blank or a bit neutral today, I'm not having a very good day. And I just think it's really helpful to have somebody there just to support you, and someone who just, you don't have to explain exactly why you feel sad, they just understand. You just say, I'm having a bad day, and it's like a nod, okay, and then we'll move on to happier things and to try and cheer each other up without having to go really into detail about why you're unhappy and what exactly you're unhappy about. I sometimes feel very helpless when there isn't a specific reason why you're down, but it helps when other people understand, and you help each other through it. Another thing is to take some time out for yourself, to relax and to unwind from a stressful day. So I found a lot more time now that I don't spend stressing out about other previous things like working out excessively and stuff. Try to take at least an hour a day just to kind of do something that makes me happy and that I really enjoy doing, that's away from technology and stuff as well, because I think technology can be a bit evil, especially before bedtime. I've been rereading Harry Potter's, of course, again. I've started up drawing again, and recently on my blog I've tried to be a bit more creative again in my writing. I haven't done any creative writing for a few years now, since my university course and just since like high school in general. So I did a little poem the other day, which was a bit nerve-wracking to put up, but things like that. I'm kind of like stretching these old muscles that I haven't done so in a long time, and I'm just really enjoying it, and I've been spending a lot more time with kind of sisters and my friends as well, so that's really nice just to catch up with everyone and just kind of taking the time just to do the things that you enjoy and not that you feel like you should be doing. And this moves on to my next point, which is that I've been saying yes to more social events. Before I said no to basically everything that my friends would invite me to, and after a while they just kind of stopped inviting me just because I was saying no to everything. And it was partly because I remember like a few years back during my teenage years I used to be very kind of sociable, and I used to love going to parties and seeing friends and things like that, and I just remember being so confident and happy then, and I compared it in the few years afterwards, and it just had got me really down, thinking I didn't really want to see friends anymore because I didn't really want to ruin their image of me, especially if I hadn't seen them in a few months or a few years since school. So then I would just kind of back out and just be like, no, they're probably better off not seeing me. Every time someone says you want to do this now, no matter how scared I am or how many like kind of racing thoughts I have about things that could potentially go wrong, I just have to say yes, and I just kind of force myself to do it, even though it's not even a bad thing. Like going for a dinner date isn't, you know, something negative, but before it was something I used to get very, very panicky about, and 9 times out of 10, mostly like 99% of the time, I'm having a blast over time, and it's so nice just to kind of chat again and just kind of do things that I haven't done in a while, and just catching up and chatting and laughing and joking and just things like that. And having these kind of memories to me is much more important than sitting at home dwelling of what could happen, you know. And if something does go wrong, then at least you know for next time that that didn't work out, so you can say you've done that and then you move on to a different thing. On top of writing down little highlights of my day, I've also started to set myself little goals that are probably very meaningless and pointless to other people, but I think has helped me personally to reach kind of like a specific goal that I've previously been scared to do, or things that would make me fight my demons, if that makes sense. So I know this is going to sound really, really stupid, like really stupid, but things like before I used to be really scared of eating like sandwiches or have wraps and stuff, and I was always asked to have like everything all separate and have like just salad portion, like the vegetables portion, and the other day I was in Pret and I was like, I really fancy this superfood salad they had, and it was really nice. It was like kale and spinach and avocado. It was delicious, but I was like, oh no, but it's bread and I don't normally have bread. Inside there's a little voice saying, but you really fancy having it today, so I was like, I'm gonna have it. I'm just gonna have it, and it was really tasty, and I'm probably gonna have it again. So I know it's little things like that probably sounds ridiculous, but to me I felt such a sense of achievement, and I wrote it down in my little highlight book. I was so happy about it for like days afterwards, and I was telling my sisters like, guess what I did? And to them it's a massive step for me as well, so they're like, yay for me as well. Something a bit less personal is maybe trying a new clothing style. So for example, if you've always been scared of wearing a kimono jacket but secretly you've really wanted to try it and you really wanted to buy it but you're scared it doesn't suit you, buy it anyway. Just kind of adapt it to your personal style. I don't like mud, but I bought wellies and I'm preparing myself in the autumn to take more walks to walk around in the mud and get a bit dirty and stuff like that. So little things like that, and I think it's when you take little steps like that that makes the big things in the horizon seem a little less scary, because you're kind of taking little steps at a time, and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself out of the things that you had known before, because it's very easy for a few no's to turn into a habit, to then turn into a routine, and you don't want that. You don't want bad habits to form into your daily routine. Like me, I stopped having a social life. That was bad. Social life is good. Meet up with your friends. So yeah, things like that really. So hopefully this video makes a bit more sense. The general gist of it is just steps on how to feel a bit more motivated and happier on days that you aren't, and please leave me comments down below on how you would probably face a bad day, or things that you do to make yourself feel better. Even things like PABA sessions, like having a bubble bath. It's so much fun when you haven't done it in a while. Like, it's so much fun to kind of blow bubbles and stuff like that. Very, very simple things, but yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments on it too. And here's to the next few months and the future being a way, way happier and a positive place to be. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!